What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here with the review for Love and Hip Hop New York. This is season 10, episode number 8, and it's titled Whose Birthday Is It Anyway? So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into the video. Alright, guys, so let's just go ahead and just get the small stuff out of the way first. So, we're going to first start up with this scene that we saw with Tahiry. So, we saw Tahiry, and, she was running around New York, and, she stops, and, she's she's talking in her one-on-ones with the producers. And, she's talking about how she went to get her mammogram. The test results came back, and they couldn't really tell anything from the test results. They came back unclear. So now she has to go back in, and she has to, have I think she either said it was either X-rays done. Well, yeah, she has to have some X-rays done on her breast to see what's going on with her breast. Hopefully, all is good for Tahiry, because that would be devastating to hear, which we haven't heard anything about her having any kind of breast cancer. So at this point, we're going to say she doesn't have it, and let's just hope and pray it stays that way. So that's really it for Tahiry's solo scene. So let's just jump into some of the other stuff in the episode. All right, so let's talk about Joe. So Joe, he met up with Jimmy. So he's meeting up with Jim, just because he wants Jim to come on to, the podcast. So he meets up with Jimmy, and Jimmy is out, doing a cooking class, because after all these years of being with Chrissy, Jimmy has never once cooked for Chrissy. I'm like, well, damn, wow. But you know what? Obviously, Chrissy loves it, so if she like it, I love it. Cause I mean, yeah, y'all have so many trials and tribulations, but I mean that's what a relationship is. You have your trials and tribulations, but when it comes to Jimmy acts like a so Jimmy's almost in his 50s. If he's not in his 50s, he acts like a 12-year-old who's 50 or approaching 50. Like, wow. Like, everyone. I mean, I know people can't cook, but damn, fix something decent for her, like some pasta. Hell, buy some takeout. Pretend like you actually cooked it. Do something like that. Wow. Wow. Now, when it comes to Jimmy and Joe, cause they both talking about a relationship, they both talking about women, and I'm like, wait a minute. These are the last two people you ever want to talk to about anything involving a relationship. Jimmy, the one that's been with Chrissy for years, never got married to her. Joe, the one that was on drugs, well, his past was Tahiry, on drugs. She didn't want to be with him. Then his relationship with Sin didn't work out. We still don't really know why that relationship. We know what Sin says, but he says, we know Joe says otherwise. So I'm not gonna go into deep about that relationship. But I'm like, yeah, these two, I just want to take no advice from them. So Joe asked him onto the podcast, and Jim was like, yeah, I'll definitely come on the podcast. So then we do see Jim at home. He cooked that meal for whatever it was that he learned how to cook. He cooked it for Chrissy. I was looking at that meal. I'm like, who the hell is that gonna feed? Because it just didn't look like it was a lot of food. But she said it was good. And then they have a conversation about their relationship. Because she said, so this is like that interview she did where she was trying to say marriage just wasn't in the cards for her anymore. It wasn't something that she wanted or needed. But I'm like, after you did that whole debacle where you proposed to Jimmy, then after you proposed to him, he came and proposed to you. Now, she said they didn't get married at that time because they weren't ready to get married. But then he didn't want to get married, and she wasn't ready. She still wasn't ready. So Jimmy still says he wants to get married to her. She's saying, she doesn't feel the same way that she wants to feel about marriage, that it's not something that fulfills her. She loves him, his family, his son, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, that's all fine and dandy. But what happens if there comes a day where Jim is in a hospital, God forbid, in a hospital, on breathing tubes, on all kind of stuff, and they're asking for the next of kin to make decisions for him. Well, technically, the next of kin is gonna either be his son or his son or his mother, but actually it's gonna be his son, like, because you're not his wife. So when it comes down to those decision makings, decisions, like, if he, and here I'm just saying it, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if he's on life support or something like that, any kind of legal thing that has to do with him, you won't be able to make a decision because guess what? You're not his wife. So you might want to, just rethink that situation. But if that's what she wants, it's just so funny. Like the fact that she proposed to him, and now she's saying that ain't what she want. You really embarrassed the shit out of yourself. But if that's what you wanted to do, by all means, go ahead and do it, sis. Knock yourself out. Oh God, Mona. Next season, do not invite Fresher or Jen back. They're annoying, and more specifically, Jen is annoying. So Fresher goes over to the crib, and he's talking to Jen. He's trying to go in the house, and Jen's like, let's have a conversation outside. So he was like, okay, what's up? She's like, so I went and met up with that Jada chick. So what's up with that? He's like, so you went and met up with her? She said, yeah. I mean, the girl's in my DM talking about you owe her money, so I want to see what's up with that. And then she says, but things got a little interesting when I met with her. So he did say that he does owe her the money, and but she says, so did y'all ever have like a personal relationship with each other? He says, at first he says no, they didn't have a personal relationship with each other, but then he says that he said whatever he had to say to keep Jada from coming to Jim. And Jim was like, so did you ever tell her that you loved her? And again, she's getting increasingly louder and louder. Like Jen, to me, is so annoying, hella annoying. So I mean, gosh, she's annoying. But she got loud. She wants to get in his face. She wants to try to fight him. I'm just like, what is this accomplishing? You're supposed to be the groupie slayer, right? Jen, the groupie slayer. I didn't see you slay now one groupie because you didn't slay Jada. So you might want to change that name. So then we see this fake ass barbershop scene where freshers meet up with Safari and Pat. So he's telling them about all his relationship woes with Jim. He tells them about the fact that he supposedly owes Jada $70,000. I'm like, that is a lot of fucking money. First of all, where did she get 70,000? I'm not judging her, but I'm just judging the fact that she has a terrible wig, and I'm just trying to figure out where she got the $70,000 from. If she can't get a proper unit, it looked like one of those Tyler Perry units that she got on her head. But they're like, damn. So then he's talking to them about, telling them that when this happened, when he and Jen had, some issues with each other had issues in their relationship last year, about a year ago. They weren't living together. I'm like, so were y'all still in a relationship? Y'all just weren't living together, so they gave you free reign to go and have sex or do whatever you did with Jada. All right. If that's what you want to say. Now, Mona, we got to stop with these fake ass scenes. We really got to stop. Because that dude was trying to line up Safari's. Well, he really wasn't lining shit up. He had to straight razor him. I'm like, bruh, his edge up is straight. Then the one dude was trying to pretend like he was, uh, doing something on the side of Fresher's head. I'm like, his hair still looks the same. I don't see not one piece of hair falling. I don't see no hair on them. There's no hair anywhere. Like, what are y'all doing? So Mona, stop with the fake ass scenes. So then we see Fresher, he meets up with Jada. And, he's telling Jada that, what she did was crazy. You owe her money. Do I agree with her going after Jen? Not necessarily. But I mean, shit. If I can't get in touch with you, I'm going to find somebody else that can get in touch with you to give me my goddamn money. So I agree with her. I agree with her to an extent. Hell, I agree with her completely, to be honest with you. Because if you don't meet $70,000, I'm going to call the National Guard. I'm going to call your grandma. I'm going to call your sister, your baby. I'm gonna call you kids. Like shit. Where's daddy? Can you tell daddy to call Auntie Jada? Like I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get my fucking money. Trust and believe me, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get my money. So, like I said, he's talking to her. And, she's mad. She's mad, and I understand why she's mad because a whole year has gone by, and she hasn't gotten her money. But but you see him stunned, buying stuff, getting Jen's body fixed. He didn't do a great job of getting her body fixed, by the way. So then she lists off everything. So I think she said $10,000 for promotion, well PR. She's like, so what was that? He's like, oh, when we went to the fashion show, I said the fashion show cost $10,000. Okay. Then she named off some other stuff. He had a reason behind everything that she named off. So he's like, can we settle? She's like, okay, we can settle for $40,000. He's like, 35,000. She says, nope, 40. He says, okay, I'll get it for you. I'm like, well, where are you gonna get that money from? Where are you gonna get that money from? Because and here's the thing. So if he's doing all this, if he's spending all his money on Jen, and this is no shade or no shade. Well, this is shade, but I'm not knocking anybody that has one. But your baby mom got a whole window unit in her house, and I'm not knocking anybody because my grandmother's house, it's an older house. It was built before central AC came around, so it's a window unit in the house. But so I'm not judging nobody, but for them to, for him to be blowing $70,000 on somebody, I would expect y'all to have at least central AC in your place and not a fucking window unit. Again, I'm not judging, just stating facts. So that's why I'm trying to figure out where the hell he's gonna come up with the $35 or $40,000. So then he tries to play it off like with them and their relationship, it was just sex. She says, oh, it was just sex. So then the producers in the green screen asked him, so did you ever love Jada? He's like, oh, so that's what we doing today? This what we doing today? And takes his microphone off and walks off set. But in his scene, he does tell Jada he fell for her and that they weren't in love. I'm like, so how much sense did that make for you to walk off the set from the producers, but to end up saying in the scene that you love her? But he's committed to Jen and the kids. I hope you weren't anywhere near Jen tonight when this episode aired, because Jen probably went clean slap, smooth the fuck off. Because she's a hothead. But let's move on. Alright, you guys, so the episode, it started out with Erica meeting up with, well, actually, Tahiry met Erica at a baby store, so she's doing all the shopping. Erica's so happy to be a married woman. And, they talk about the wedding. And, Tahiry, she was talking about how she saw Tahiry crying, and then she said, did you see Joe over there blowing his nose? And so then, Tahiry does tell Erica what happened before the wedding started, the whole situation with Jonathan. And how, Jonathan, showed up, and Erica's like, yeah, he was a wedding crasher. Like, I didn't invite him. She's like, nobody was supposed to have him +1. Like, some Sapphire's friends who are married could even bring a +1. I'm like, wow. Okay. I guess. Kind of interesting, to say the least. Kind of interesting. But, I get it about Jonathan. Y'all ain't really that cool right now. But, she says that, so Yandy gave her a gift that had her name on it, but then she added Jonathan's name on it as well. So then she says she DM'd Jonathan telling him thank you. And he says, he said to her, they should kiki with each other and it's all good. I'm like, huh? That's why I say Jonathan is fake as hell. Like, he flip-flops. But, if he has anybody's side 100%, it's the Yandy side. And now I guess you could say Sin. Those are the only two people's side that he had. He don't have anybody else's back. So then, like I said, T was telling her about what happened at the party. And basically, she told him like how Joe told Jonathan to mind his business, but he said, Sin is his business. I'm like, no, she's not your business. And I agree. She's not your business. She is not your business. Just because you're friends with her, don't give you the right to get in her relationship issues. So then, Erica's talking about how she invited Jonathan to her, Jonathan and Sin to her birthday party. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be an interesting one, isn't it? All right, so then we see Sin. Sin was all dressed up for somebody. I mean, she had on her lingerie. I'm like, oh, I'm like, please don't tell me she's dressed up for the baby. 'Cause that's all I could think about for the long time. I'm like, who is she talking about? She can get dressed up for her man. I'm like, wait a minute. I really hope this ain't for the baby. But nope, it's even worse. She's dressed up for Jonathan. I'm like, oh God, why? So Jonathan's trying to say that Tahiry provoked him at the wedding. I'm like, she really didn't provoke you. She was just messing with you because I mean you technically were a wedding crasher. You didn't get an invitation to the wedding. You just came as Yandy's plus one. And typically on an invitation, Yandy, if you can bring a plus one, it'll say bring a plus one. But most times you have to RSVP. Maybe Yandy didn't read them. Maybe Yandy just didn't. She got her invitation so late that she just didn't read it. I'm gonna give her that. So then, Jonathan is telling Sin what happened at the wedding and how Joe told him to mind his business. Which again, Joe was right. Mind your business. But then again, Jonathan wants to say, "Oh, you're my friend. You are my business." No, she's not. Sin is a full grown ass woman. And he's talking about, he feels like, with Tahiry if Tahiry gets involved with Joe, that can mess up their co-parenting with each other. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? How could Tahiry come in between Joe and Sin's co-parenting? It makes no fucking sense. Like, oh my God, Jonathan is hella annoying to me. And Sin said, "Oh no, she can't control nothing over here." And I'm like, at least you can say that. Like, shit. Y'all are childish, is what y'all are. Then Sin has the audacity to say that she doesn't respect Tahiry as a woman because not too long ago, Tahiry was on social media commenting on posts about Joe. And I'm like, so that's why you don't respect her as a woman because she was commenting on posts about Joe? Like, you don't know the fact that she and Joe actually sat down with each other and had a conversation with each other about their history, and they were able to let bygones be bygones. Like, I mean, they should be able to. They were in a relationship for years with each other. Like, there's still gonna be some underlying love there for each other, even if they're not in a relationship. There's gonna be something there. They're gonna feel something for one another. Sin is childish as hell, just like her good girlfriend over there, Jonathan. So then Jonathan is telling Sin how, Erica invited them to her birthday party, but Tahir's gonna be there. Again, what they got to do with you? I'm over Jonathan, and I'm over Sin, to be quite honest with you. To be totally honest with you, I'm over Sin as well. So then let's talk about Erica's party. So we get to Erica's party. Party's nice until you look around the room and it's like an episode of, it's like an episode of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and you're looking for Waldo. Oh, that's right. You don't really see him. You found one picture that had Erica and Safari on it because all the other pictures had Safari, but it's Erica's birthday. And he's talking about, when he married her, it became his birthday. Oh my God, nigga, you are childish as fuck. This is your wife's birthday, and Erica starts to cry. She's like, it feel like it's all about you. I'm like, now in this instance, I definitely understand Erica, and then Yandy of all people talking about, he shouldn't have done this. Erica is pregnant, her hormones are this. I'm like, Yandy, shut the fuck up. This is her birthday. This is her special day. He done took over with pictures of himself, but he get on the microphone. He apologizes to her. He sings this terrible ass song, and she's good. He also gave her a dog. I'm like, this marriage, I like Erica and I like Safari, but I feel like when it comes to Safari, sometimes it just feels like he's still like, and Safari's older than I am, a little bit older than I am. It's just like he's really childish about certain things. It's like his mentality his mentality is just at a child's level. I hope the marriage works out. I really do, for his sake. But then we also saw Jonathan and Sin show up. Now, here's my thing with Jonathan, Sin, and even Yandy. why y'all over here cracking jokes and having fun at Tahiry's expense? Tahiry doesn't want to be with Joe. Like, and then y'all finna try to sit here and play like y'all don't know what the girl is upset about. She's upset because one, Jonathan, your motherfucking ass won't mind your fucking business, and Sin, you sit over here listening to this shit. Like, if she wanted Joe, that's between she and Joe, not you, her, and Joe. It's between she and Joe. You broke up with Joe. Let Joe live his life. Like, what you gonna do if he dates another woman? You gonna be in your feelings, and Jonathan, you gonna be like, oh, you know, him and Sen just broke up, and I don't think that you should be talking to him. Like, y'all sound like y'all in middle school. I'm over these. I'm over those three. I'm over the messy crew, which consists of Sen, which consists of Jonathan, and consists of Andy. I'm sick of those three. But you guys, that was the episode. Be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything else. Share this video. And if you would like to follow me on social media, I am on Twitter at JB_the_CEO. I am on Snapchat at Mr. GB_this to you. And I'm also on Instagram at Jbsayzwhat. So until the next video, you guys, later.